Hi everybody, I'm Emre. I'm from Turkey. In this channel I'm going to be cooking traditional Turkish dishes in every video. And today's dish is a super fluffy, super smooth, super sugary lokma, which is Turkish donuts. If you like these kind of recipes like super sugary, super fluffy, then keep watching. To make our dough sort of fluffy and smooth, what we need is instant yeast. And to activate our yeast, we need some water. It doesn't matter how much. I'm going to use 1 cup of water and 10 grams of yeast, instant yeast by the way. And to activate the yeast, we need something like sugar or salt. What I'm going to use today is like 1 tablespoon of sugar, normal white sugar, and a fork to mix them. I'm going to mix them very well and wait until the yeast gets activated. When we have bubbles and foam over the surface of water, it means it's ready to mix with the other ingredients. So now I'm just mixing and I'm gonna wait for about 5 minutes. The yeast with water is activated, so now it's time to mix with flour. I have 2 cups of, which is about 250 grams of all-purpose flour. I, with my fork, make a little hole in the center of the flour, and I'm going to put directly the water in the center. I'm going to use 1 very little pinch of salt. The reason why we use salt in this sort of doughs is to keep all the dough together, and rest of the water goes in. And what we should put right now is half glass of milk. Yeah. And now I'm going to mix it with my hands. If you really like cooking, probably like me, you like the process of cooking as well, not just the result. So I think it is worth to get dirty a bit. So use your hands, touch whatever you are doing, mix with your hands. It's good. I mean, I like it. Even I like touching things that I shouldn't touch. I'm still mixing the dough and I'm trying to put more and more air inside the dough. This is what we need, because thanks to that sort of little air balls is going to make our dough double. Now the dough is ready. What we gotta do now is to leave it aside for resting for about 1 hour. But what we need to do now is to cover it with a cling film. And while our dough is resting, we can save time by preparing our syrup. What I have here is a large pan. I mean, not large, but large enough to prepare our syrup. So I pour 2 glasses of tap water, 1.5 glasses of white sugar goes in. Yes. Now give them a nice stir. Mix and mix and mix and. Now we are going to wait until it boils. Now I'm just giving it a stir to mix sugar and water. To mix sugar and water. When it starts to boil, when it starts to have bubbles, we are going to put a couple of drops of lemon juice. What this is going to do is to make other flavors introduced into one another, also break that super sugary taste, so it's needed. Also, we are not going to boil it more than 2 minutes, otherwise it's not going to, our donuts are not going to absorb the syrup very well. So I'm just mixing it right now. This is all I do. After approximately 1 hour of resting, this is our dough over here. As you can see, it's super fluffy, super smooth. Look how it is. This is where we started first when we put the flour and all the other ingredients, and this is after where it is after it doubled itself. Look, I wanna play it forever, but we should go on with cooking. Also, there are 3 different ways of cooking it. They all are so simple, they all are so easy, but they have some tricks, so let's go for them. And one of the methods of shape our dough is to use a spoon. So I took a little spoon, like a bit larger than a teaspoon. I'm going to oil it very well because as you just saw, the dough is so sticky and I don't want it to get stuck on my spoon. But it's impossible to make it so clear. The oil is gonna get around, the dough is gonna get stuck, whatever you do. And I'm just putting it in the pan. Another spoon to the pan. You can use your fingers, you can use another spoon, whatever you want. I am just keep going. Just as a quick reminder, you can use 2 spoons at the same time. What I'm going to do is to take 1 spoon from the dough and by using the other dough, just to push it down to the oil. Like this, your hands are not going to get dirty. Now let's go on with the second method. For second method, what I have here is a plastic bag. This is for refrigerator plastic bags. I don't know what it is called exactly in English. Yeah, this is a plastic bag for refrigerator basically. And I have here like almost 1 tablespoon of leftover oil from the first method, and I pour the oil inside the plastic bag, and I'm just going to spread all the oil all around the bag. This is for in order not to stick the dough in the bag. And I am going to oil my spoon a bit again, and I am going to put some dough inside the bag. I'm gonna fill all the bag with dough, then we are going to continue. Now I'm going to make a very little hole on my bag with the scissors, and I'm going to pour it into the pan. While doing this, we gotta be really quick because otherwise it's gonna pour too much, it's gonna spread around and so on. So I'm just squeezing and cutting them with my scissors. Donut, like what you know as donuts. You can give that shape, but now I'm using the traditional shape of Turkish doughnut. I mean lokma. I'm squeezing it and cutting it with my scissors. Squeezing and cutting. This is the easiest and the cleanest technique actually, and you can make pieces as big as you want or as small as you want. Also, your hands are not going to get dirty, but I don't really mind my hands to get dirty, but if you do, then you can use this method. Now the last and the third way of shaping your donut is to make your hands. To do this, firstly I have to oil my spoon again, and then I have to oil my hands. All spread around my hands, and I am going to just make like a sort of a stick with my hands and squeeze it. When I squeeze, like sort of a small ball is gonna come out from my hands, and this is the shape of lokma. I'm gonna squeeze it and then take the ball from my hands. I'm gonna squeeze it and then take the ball from my hands. I'm just gonna keep doing this. This is a very easy method as well, but don't forget to oil your spoon and your hands, otherwise it's gonna get stuck everywhere, because this is a very, very sticky dough. And by the way, when you are frying, no matter what you are frying, if your oil is very hot, then the thing that you are frying is not going to absorb a lot of oil. So it's gonna be sort of more healthy. This is a trick, so be careful about it. For the small ones, only like 2 minutes of frying is enough to take this beautiful golden color. And for the big ones, 2.5 minutes, or sorry, did I say hours? No, minutes, I'm sorry. 2 minutes for the small ones, 2.5 minutes for the big ones. I mean, you can understand when you see this golden color, it's time to turn them. For decoration, I'm going to use 3 different kind of things. First one is pistachio, second one is coconut powder, and the third one is melted dark chocolate. So let's go. By the way, our syrup is cold right now. Also, the donuts are hot. I'm going to put some of them in the syrup and make it sweet. I'm going to use a fork to do this. Just make sure that syrup is all around the donuts. Okay. Now, by the way, I'm going to use a what was the name? Chopstick to work cleaner and better. And just for the top, I'm going to put some coconut powder. Let's go on with pistachio. Again, to work cleaner, I'm using a chopstick, and I'm putting the donut inside the pistachio pile, and ensure that it's all around the top of the donuts. But for chocolate, I'm not going to use syrup because chocolate is already sweet, and if you use both chocolate and the syrup, it's going to be super and sugary, more than it should be. So I'm just going to take one donut and cover it with dark chocolates. After approximately 45 minutes of preparing, this is our Lokma over here. I hope you like the recipe and you try to make it at home as well. When you try to make it at home, please try to make them look a bit cool and a bit more beautiful than usual. Because like eating, speaking, dressing, these are the things that we do every day. So why don't we try to make them a bit more cool and a bit more fun, right? Just raise the standards of our life. And if there's any specific Turkish recipe that you'd like to learn how to make, you can write it down in the comment box below. I'll try to make it for you as well. And if you'd like to see me cooking more Turkish traditional dishes, you can subscribe to my channel. Afiyet olsun, bon appetit!